Good morning, Kevin Cahill, founder, Canadian Legacy Builder. In this week's video blog, I wanted to chat a little bit more about the chaos theory or butterfly effect. I've written about it previously, and the butterfly effect, basically in a summary, is if a butterfly flaps its wings on one side of the world, it has the ability to cause a tsunami on the other side of the world. And it's true that we never really truly understand what happens along life's path when you start to collect the dots. I'm not sure exactly what last week triggered my memory, but I wanted to spend this week talking about my mother's journey. You see, she was adopted. She didn't know she was originally adopted till much later in her life. And what happened in 1992, I believe it was three boys were at a bar in Ottawa. Two thought they were twins, and they met another boy who looked exactly like one of the twin boys. Through testing, they realized that the two twins that were raised as twins weren't actually twins, and that this third boy was one of the actual genetic twins. So through some digging and some searching, they realized that at birth, they were placed in a foster home and they were mixed up. What does this story have to do with my mother? Well, my grandmother was the foster mother. She was the one that mixed up those boys. And a whole court case ensued with media. The reality, everything got dropped mainly because my grandmother was already diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease and couldn't remember all of the details. But it was through that experience that Mom then followed her own path to try and find her birth mother. She pressured Children's Aid into opening up her file, and she found out last known address of where her mother was located. My mom and dad took a road trip one day to the area of Deux-Montagnes in Quebec. They talked to the churches, they talked to the press, they talked to everyone they possibly could, and eventually found out where my mother's maternal mother was buried. What was interesting about this is that she and my father's mother passed away the exact same day in the late 90s. What was even more interesting is Mom then got to meet the rest of her family, including aunts and uncles, and she discovered that she had a half-brother. Well, this half-brother grew up in the house right next door to my dad's grandmother. The two played together as boys, and then later on in life got reunited through the fact that really this boy that Dad played with growing up ended up being his brother-in-law. The different paths along life that led Mom to discover her birth family were important for her. She was raised not really knowing her heritage. She was raised with question marks. She didn't really know her true identity. And when she was able to find her birth family, it brought her a lot of calmness, and it brought her a peace of mind that allowed her to live out the rest of her life knowing the true answers. So sometimes you never really know what and where the path will take you in life, but when you're open to it and you're allowed to explore, sometimes magical things can happen. A true legacy was left by my mother for never giving up and never accepting no for an answer.